My name is Gail Henney. I'm a former two-term Poet Laureate of North Andover, and I'm here to speak to you about the gas crisis in the Merrimack Valley. Sometimes words are difficult to put into sentences when difficult things have happened. And when that occurs, I like to go to poetry. So I put a call out to poets from Lawrence, North Andover, Andover, and elsewhere, and asked them to get back to me within 36 hours with a poem. And so I have poems today from 5 poets that give voice to what's been happening in our communities. Our first poet is Henry J. Durso. He's a Lawrence resident, and he was one of those individuals who on the night of September 13th, 2018, had to, at very short notice, get to his home, evacuate his sister, and drive around wondering, what am I going to do? Again, Harry J. Durso's poem, and the title is Lawrence Down. A clear afternoon, early fall, a few leaves changing. Then the city shook over and over, fire in the sky, thick smoke bellowed over our breath, sirens screaming. I pulled over, asked a high school girl, what happened? She looked at the sky. Lawrence is blowing up. Gridlocked, I wore panic like a blanket, drove right through some bushes to get to my home. Megaphone screaming, get out now! No time to think or pack. Lights suddenly out. The police banging on the door, leave now. We cannot come back to rescue you. Get out now. Flashlights urging us on, leaving chilled with panic in the dark, nowhere to go. Wallet thin, low on gas, pitch black, darkness everywhere, frightened and alone, driving nowhere, helicopters above, spotlighting the smoke and flames, saying prayers, driving slowly by a crushed car that killed a boy inside, the house behind him still glowing with fire. Forced to drive to anywhere, no chance for rescue, repeated over and over in my head. The highway, a disaster movie, all red lights and overheated engines, praying to get somewhere soon. The days that followed weren't real days, slowly playing themselves out, strange surroundings, no clothes or meds, praying to go home as we watched the news, still not able to grasp the total truth. 70 houses exploded and gone. No power, no gas, no heat. And then we waited quietly for everything to be normal. But when the first child says, I am cold, Mommy, I am so cold, we know we can't wait forever. That was Harry J. Durso's poem, and now I'd like to introduce the former Poets Laureate of North Andover, Massachusetts, Ken and Nadine Delano, and professionally, they call themselves Kennadine. They'll be presenting, or I should say, performing their poetry for you now.
Police car.
Siren.
Ambulance.
Another siren.
Fire engine.
Another siren.
And the smell of smoke.
Stop it. Stop it.
What is happening?
Gas explosion. Run.
Where to?
What next?
6 weeks later, look, we're all together, holding on. We have our laptops, our smartphones.
The gas is back on. We have brand new appliances.
And there is racism, anti-Semitism, bullying, poverty, wars, Trumpism running rampant.
Another siren?
Thank you.
Blue Alert by Eve Miriam. Quick, empty the offices. Rush all the lecture halls. Abandon the copying machine. Burst out. Emergent! See? The sky? Unboxed. Lid off. Shaking loose. What number do we call to bring it down? Box it in. Back in.
Thank you to Ken and Nadine Delano for their presentation. The next poem is one that I wrote. It's called Winter is Coming. And I took notes during a meeting that was held at a middle school in Andover. The meeting was supposed to start on October 27th, 2018 at 1 p.m. and it didn't begin until 3 o'clock because the representatives from Columbia Gas were detained. People waited 2 hours to get information from the gas company and to be able to ask questions. And this poem that I wrote, Winter is Coming, came from notes that I took at the meeting. Winter is coming. Trying to build trust since September 13, 2018, by scaling up and rebuilding capabilities. But 30% won't have heat until mid-December 2018. Fires, evacuations, explosions, people fleeing their homes, relatives, friends, neighbors sharing sparse information, texting, "Are you okay?" 45 miles of piping replaced, gas ready versus house ready. Temporary repairs of heaters and boilers with replacement not until spring 2019. Alternative housing, workforce increased from 180 to 4,500. Interactive map update several times a week going forward. 8,600 homes and businesses affected. Rapid relight. Property restoration. 1 contractor increased to 4 contractors as of October 27. Frustrations, devastation, fear, additional commutation, stress. Promise you we will do everything. Losses to businesses. Sorry for the impact we've had. 170 plumbers on a chartered plane from California. But when will we not be cold? The next poem is a poem from Isabel Van Muren. She is responsible for Merrimack Mic, which is an open mic at the Merrimack Public Library in Merrimack, Massachusetts. And she's also an artist who in September of 2018 had an Insight installation at Maudsley State Park. The title is Acknowledgement. Be sure to thank Mrs. Campbell for the ride. Yes, Mama. Did you thank Mrs. Campbell for the ride? Yes, Mama. Yes, Mama. Yes, Mother. Age 4 this started. I was a 2-year kindergarten student. Mother was desperate to get me out of the house. She brought me up right, though, to be polite. She was born on the cusp of Virgo and Libra, and she was thorough. Thank you, Virgo. She passed that on to me, too. It always sounds good in an interview. Yes, I am detail-oriented. But they don't like it when you actually do pay attention to details. It takes too much time. We don't actually want the customer to know everything about their account. Follow the script, to the letter and dot. A lot of people don't want to be thorough, even if they know how. Too much trouble, cost too much, waste of time. And would you be thanked for doing a good, thorough job? Probably not. Almost everyone on the planet uses gas. Where would we be without it? Dark ages? Has anyone ever thanked Columbia Gas for delivering such a great source of energy and power? Maybe they would have thought about the people they were serving, how they were appreciated, and how this great and powerful energy source could be very destructive and deadly if not controlled properly, safely. Maybe. It's a thought. I swear to you, every single afternoon when I came running into the house, my mother would ask me, "Did you thank Mrs. Campbell for her ride?" I always answered yes, because I always did. To this day, it is my intention to thank people, acknowledge them as often as possible. I truly believe it is one of the most important things. Something so important to do when living on a planet as we do here, it's as important as gas. It's a necessity for survival. I hope that today's readings and performances of poetry give you an insight into what poetry can say and express when sometimes we don't have the words. And as Isabel Van Merlin said, it's important to acknowledge that some people are still without natural gas in their home. They are still using portable heaters. They are still cooking on hot plates, and they are still going elsewhere for showers. So as the holiday season approaches, think of your neighbors here in the Merrimack Valley, in Lawrence, in North Andover, and in Andover. Invite someone for a meal. Let them have your shower. Be what we all can be, our best. Thank you.